Hi! So we are traveling down the Great River Road, and behind me, as you can see, is the beautiful Mississippi, which we're following 2,700 miles from Minnesota all the way down to Louisiana. On the way, we're camping in our 71 Volkswagen van, and luckily enough for us, it's hunting season. A couple of days ago, we scored a duck fresh from the river, and we're going to show you today a dish that goes perfectly with that duck, venison, or even a vegetarian dish. So stay tuned and watch what's happening next. So the dish we're going to make for you today is inspired by risotto. Now, I'd love to make risotto on the road, but it takes so long, and we've only got this little gas camp stove. So what we're going to do is show you a version with this quick cook brown rice, and then some really great winter or late fall inspired vegetables. The vegetables we have today, we have some parsnip and some rutabaga, and then also we have some fresh shallots and some mushrooms. Now, you don't have to use shallots, you can use onions, and of course you don't have to use rutabaga or parsnip. You can use sweet potato, you can use celeriac, you can use any vegetable you want, but these are the flavors we want to go with our duck. So let's get started on the dish. In here, I've got a few tablespoons of butter just melting away. And then, as you can see, it's so cold out. My olive oil has solidified, which is why it's turned this funny color, but it doesn't matter. We're just gonna put about 3 tablespoons of olive oil into the pan as well. And then, to keep it simple, we're just gonna put all of the ingredients in together. So we've got our garlic, our rutabaga, mushrooms, shallots, and our parsnips. Now, all we're going to do with these is sweat them for about 10 to 15 minutes, just until they start to soften up. We don't want them completely soft because we're going to cook them later in the rice itself. So they've been cooking for about 10 minutes. They haven't taken on any color, which is perfect. And now what we're going to do is add our rice. We've got about 14 ounces of quick cook brown rice. So cook it in the vegetables for a couple of minutes, and then what you're going to need is about 1.5 quarts of stock. Now, if you're doing this as a vegetarian side, you're just going to use a vegetable stock, whereas in this case we're doing it with duck, so we're going to use a chicken stock. So now it's time to add the stock. Now, we're going to do this in the same way as if you were making a regular risotto, which is bit by bit. We're not going to dump all the stock in one go. So just going to take a ladle or 2 at a time. The first couple of stirs, you're probably going to use 2 ladles. And be careful, if your pan's really hot, it will sputter up. Okay, so just get the couple of ladles in and give it a stir. Let that seep in, and then once there's no more liquid in the bottom, then we'll add the next couple of ladles. So whilst the risotto is cooking, I want to show you the duck that we got. So this is wild duck breast. Now, you can see it's quite a decent size, but it's very dark. Now, if you buy duck breasts in the store, chances are it's going to be a little bit lighter than this, and it will come with the fat on top. We took the fat off, one, because it was easier to dress the duck in the woods just by cutting the breasts out, and 2, because sometimes wild game can have a very strong flavor, and especially in the fat. So we're going to counteract not having fat by doing 2 things. One is we're going to add bacon during cooking, and secondly, we're just going to add a little bit of butter. Now, it's very important with a lot of wild game and wild product is that you don't overcook it. So we're going to cook this medium rare and let it rest. If you cook it too much, it's going to taste livery and very unpalatable. Don't forget to season your product. A little bit of salt, a little bit of pepper, and then we're going to need a very hot pan. So you can see our pan smoking. This is what we want. This is our very well used camp pan, as you can see, has a lot of use out of it. And then we're going to put the breasts, what would be fat side down, away from us in the pan. So down and away, so we don't splash oil over ourselves. And the second one down and away. And then give your breast a little flip. You see the nice color we got going. So once you flip them, this is when you add your butter, your garlic, and then we're going to add our bacon as well. I wish you could smell this. It smells absolutely fantastic. We've got the smokiness from the bacon, the richness from the butter, and then of course that really great, bright, earthy garlic flavor. So we don't want the breast to overcook, so the bacon's not fully cooked, so what we're going to do is take the breasts and rest them on top of the bacon. So they won't be directly in touch with the pan. They'll have radiant heat coming through the bacon, but it won't be so strong that it's going to overcook. We'll just let them sit there for a few minutes, then we'll take them off, and with any meat you want to let it rest. So we'll let these rest for about 3 minutes before we cut into them. By that time the risotto will be perfectly cooked and we can serve it. So the risotto is done, or the brown rice risotto inspired dish is done. We need to make sure that we season it. Now if you're using bouillon cubes instead of stock, keep in mind that they are salty, and of course pepper. And then to finish the dish we're going to add a cheese. Now it's pretty common to add cheese to risotto, so we're going to add it to our brown rice dish. The cheese that we've picked is this black truffle pecorino, which is beautiful. It's dotted with black truffles, and the beauty of that is that it has that earthy, fungusy, mushroomy, woodsy flavor that's going to go really well with our duck. So we'll add that, and then we're also going to add a decent amount of parsley. Now you could add any herb. I recommend thyme, rosemary or parsley for this dish. It gives you that really good green earthy flavor. Finally, everything's ready and we're ready to serve. Now look at the risotto. You've got these beautiful grains encased in this gooey pecorino with truffles, and those vegetables cooked absolutely perfectly. You've almost got that starchy effect you get from having arborio or short grain rice just by adding that fat and cheese in there. And then here is our, don't forget our bacon pieces here, just a little bit of smokiness, and then our duck breast. And as you can see, we've got this beautiful medium rare that's been resting, and if I just press on it gently you'll see the juices coming out. Look at that. So this is going to be the perfect accompaniment to your risotto. There we go, look at that. There you have it. This is our late fall, early winter vegetable brown rice inspired risotto with wild caught duck from the Mississippi. If you want more recipes and ideas, please follow us on Facebook under Wyatt Hospitality Consultants. And if you want pictures from the Great River Road, check us out on Instagram.